Hey, what's up, homie? So I got a couple people in my previous videos asking about my tattoo setup, so I'm gonna go ahead and make this video for that. So let's go ahead and get to my station and get set up real quick. So first off, I usually clean up my tray from the night before, even if I didn't tattoo, because you know, dust might have collected overnight and just gathered up on here. So what I like to do is get my spray bottle full of alcohol and just spray an even layer on that. I just got the spray bottle from Family Dollar, so you can just go buy that for like $1 or $2. The sticker I have right here is from Big Me's. He's a lettering tattoo artist, so I got that from him. Just spray it a thin even layer like this. Get a paper towel and just wipe it down. Make sure you wipe it down real good, make sure all the alcohol is off, make sure it's all nice and clean. Then you throw that away. Then I spray the tray one more time with the alcohol, just so there's some liquid kind of holding the saran wrap that I'm about to put on here. Then before you start touching the tray, anything else, throw some gloves on. Alright, now that the gloves are on, I'm going to go ahead and put the saran wrap right here on the tray. So I usually do like about 2 layers maybe, depending on how big your tray is. Depending on what kind of tray you have, I'll go ahead and push it down real flat, make sure the saran wrap is on there pretty smooth. Alright, then once that's flat, then you can go ahead and get your green soap or your water, whatever you like to use. Something in a squirt bottle just so you can throw a good amount on here. Something to hold the bib that you're about to put down. Or you can put your setup straight on the saran wrap like this. It's really up to you, but me personally, I don't really like to do it on here. I like to throw the dental bib on. Before I throw the dental bib down, I get my green soap. I just spray it on the whole entire tray. So just a little layer like this. Alright, then you get your dental bib, just unfold it, and then since your tray is wet, go ahead and try to place it down real nice and smooth, flatten it out real good. So now I'm going to go ahead and start getting all my supplies and start organizing it here on the tray. So first I have the bottle of green soap, and I usually wrap it up with these bottle bags. Some people wrap it up in here like that, and you just poke it through here, but that leaves the bottom exposed to the tray, and that's not really as sanitary as you can be, you know what I mean? So what I like to do is take it out. I drop the whole bottom in here, like this. And then I just cover it over top, like that. Poke it through. All this is open. So what I like to do is just get a little piece of tape. I got some medical tape right here. They're real easy to rip, so I really like using these. So just a small little piece right here. Then what I like to do is just kind of grab that excess and just kind of twist it into just like a little knot. And then tuck it into itself like this. And just get your tape, make sure it's kind of like in there like that, taped on, just so this won't be open. Only this is going to be exposed, but you're not going to be grabbing it from here, you know what I mean? So just make sure you grab your bottle from here, nowhere else, that's all. Then for the ointment, I usually like to use a hustle butter right here. I usually like to use a little popsicle stick, so just open it up, then just get a little bit. You don't really need too much depending on how big your tattoo is. This stuff really goes a long way because you don't need to throw like a big layer on. So just a little piece, maybe like about that much, you know. Then you just wipe it down on there, pick the popsicle stick back up, and just toss that away. Make sure you're not with your hands in here, just only use the popsicle stick. It's a lot more sanitary like that. So then go ahead and close it up, put it back up wherever you usually have it. I used to use A&D and this other brand called Inkies. A&D, I really don't like to use that. That's just my preference. Inkies, I have used that before, but I feel like it's a little too oily for me. It smells good and it just wipes on real nice, and it's just real, I really like to use it, you know what I mean? But whatever you want to use, that's really up to you. This is just my preference, you know what I mean? This is my setup, so you can take what I use and then go experiment with other stuff. Then you'll have your own setup, you know what I mean? Then like I said, I like to stay real organized. So what I use is these little cartridge trays right here. You can just get this off Amazon. They're pretty cheap. Order this and just keep your cartridges in here. It'll keep your cartridges from like rolling around on the table, you know what I mean? It looks a little unorganized like that. And like I said, I do like to be organized and just keep everything nice and neat. So I always use this right here. To hold it down, I like to get the corners of the cartridge tray and just kind of get like a little bit of ointment on every corner like this. Place it down right here in the corner over here. Push down on the corner so the ointment can kind of hold that tray where it's at. Alright, then next I like to put my ink cups down. The way I put them down and the way I organize them depends really on what I'm doing for the day. If it's just some simple script, then I just go ahead and just place one little ink cap down, just one of these. But I always put down a small black one no matter what I'm doing, because all I do is black and gray. And depending on the size of the tattoo and how much black is in the design, if there's a lot of black, I won't use one of these. Then I just get one of these and I just fill that with straight black, you know, depending on the piece. You just gotta see what you're doing for the day and go off of that. So what I'm gonna do is just place this small one down. I like to just get some little bit of ointment on the bottom and then just push it down and it should stay there. And I usually like to use about like 4 tones, so I have like about 4 caps right here. And same thing, get a little bit of ointment, push it down, and they'll stay right there. Then I set up a rinse cup just so I can wash the needles out. Sometimes if you're using black that's real thick, your cartridge can get clogged up, so you're gonna have to just dip it in the water real quick just to kind of clean it off, and to switch from tones, because if you're gonna be using light and dark, you don't want to go from your dark and then tattoo it, and then that dark's still gonna be in your cartridge, and you dip into the light, it's gonna contaminate the light, and it's just gonna be even darker than what you expect, you know what I mean? So I just get one of these, little rinse cup, same as everything else, just a little bit of ointment, and I just place it down right here on the tray. With my finger, I just push on the inside just so the ointment can kind of stick it a little easier. Alright, now for the good part, we got the needles. It's usually important that you open up the needles in front of your client to make sure that your client knows everything is clean and sanitary. So whenever you're picking out your needles that you're gonna use for the day, just put them right here on the cartridge tray, not open. Just make sure they're just right here on top or wherever you want to put them. Then when they actually sit down in the chair with you, then you just get them, open them up, organize them on the little cartridge tray, and you're good. Alright, the 2 brands I usually like to use is Quadrin is my main ones, then Da Vinci. I like to use the Bishop Da Vinci's for the 3-round liners. So this is a 0403 long taper. Long taper means it's just gonna keep the ink flowing a little better. Smaller the number right here, like it says right here 04, and then it can go up to 08, and then it goes to 10 and 12. The higher the number, the more of a shorter taper is gonna be, and the more you can pack in. If you're gonna be packing in solid blacks, then maybe like a 10 or a 12 curved mag to get that black in real good. 08 and 04 is more of a bug pin. Bug pin means they're a lot sharper and you can get a lot more smoother shading. What I usually like to use is a 3-round liner from the Da Vinci that I just showed y'all. Quadrins, I like to use the 5-round liner and an 11-round liner and a 15-round shader for thicker lines. Then for the mags, I like to use a 9 curved mag and a 15 and a 25. Then for my curved mags, I straight use 08 or a 10, maybe the most, if you can't find a 08, just because those give a lot smoother shading. If you are going to be packing in like black or something, then I would recommend using like a 12 or a 10. And even with the 12s and the 10s, you still can't get pretty smooth shading, but it might just be a tiny bit more difficult. Alright, so once you have your needles down, then you're gonna have to set up your ink. I usually like to use Empire ink right here. This is the ivory black right here. This is supposedly their darkest black, so I like to use this, and it is pretty dark. I do use their gray wash set. I have a picture of it right here. I like to use the gray wash set a lot. It goes in pretty smooth, it stays real nice, exactly how you're gonna expect it to, you know what I mean? If you're gonna be using a drop system, for me personally, I usually like to start from light to dark. I'm gonna put 3 drops, then I'm gonna put like about 8, then I'm gonna do like half of a cup, then I'm gonna do like about 3/4 of a cup. And then for the black, you know, solid black. Then once you have those drops set down, I usually fill it up with water and a mixture of witch hazel. It has half and half. The witch hazel is just so it can kind of keep the redness down from your client's skin. This really helps a lot. I just always use it in my ink and in my rinse cup right here. Make sure whenever you're using the mixture, make sure it's a mixture of distilled water. And with the witch hazel, it reduces the redness on your client's skin, just so you can take pictures a lot easier without having to worry about their skin being too red. And then for paper towels, I like to use these shop paper towels. You can get them from like your AutoZone, O'Reilly's, and they're pretty big sheets too. So one sheet is like about this size right here. But what I like to do is get like a few of them, depending on how big the tattoo is, you know. Once you start tattooing, you can know about how much you're gonna use. So then you just rip it off. And like I said, they're really big, so I don't like to use the whole sheet. What I do is just kind of line them up right here, fold them in half, then I get my scissors and just slice them right down the middle, just so I can have a little more. And then I just place them down right here in the corner. With one sheet, I usually like to fold it in half right here, fold it in half one more time, and then fold it in half one more time. And then this is what I use. I usually just have it like this, and I just kind of wipe. Whenever this side gets dirty, I flip it over, use that, and then once this side gets dirty, I open it again and I fold it in half, and this side's clean, so I'm gonna use this side until it gets dirty, and then this side until it gets dirty. And then just keep doing that, and then once you can't use this paper towel no more, toss it in the trash and get you a new one, fold it up like this, and that's it. It saves a lot of paper towels. And make sure it's not wet, because if it is wet and you're starting off with the tattoo, you could wipe away the stencil pretty fast, so make sure it's dry. And these are really soft, so they won't hurt your client's skin as bad as these paper towels right here. So I never use these on a tattoo. Kind of dab it, wipe it, however you see fit for whatever you're doing at the moment. Alright, so now everything is laid out nice and neat. I use my gloves, everything's sanitary and clean. So now we're gonna get to setting up the tattoo machine. What I like to use is a Bishop wands. This is a shader right here. I use a liner as well. This machine right here has a 3.5mm stroke, which is a lot better for getting that soft black and gray look. The liner is a lot better for like traditional work, line work, and for like pepper shading. I always use that for my pepper shading. So for my liner, I like to have it set at a 6.0 to a 6.5. I know it sounds pretty low, but I don't like to have it any higher than that just because you can get blowouts real easy with that machine. So I like to just be careful and just run it like a 6 to 6.5. For this one though, I like to set it up like around a 9. That usually gives me my smoothest shading. I did clean the machine last night, but I'm gonna give it one more wipe down just to be safe. I usually like to use these. This is called Opticide Max Wipes. I just get one of these and just wipe the machine real good. With your finger, just kind of get in that little hole right here and just kind of push in there. Make sure everything's real clean the top. So this is the critical right here. This is my battery. This is what I like to use for my power supply on my machine. Plug it in on the top. And the grip I use is a disposable grip. Make sure you use disposable grips only if you don't have an autoclave at your shop or wherever you're working at. These are a lot more sanitary than the aluminum grips that you might get with your machine. Then to actually wrap up the machine, I use a clip cord cover, but I cut it down to fit my machine precisely. So next what you're gonna do is open up the cover and just slide your machine in there. And with the battery pack, it is a little thicker, so what I like to do is kind of just place it right here and kind of give it like a little twist just so it can kind of go over the battery pack. Sometimes it is a little tough to get it over the battery pack. So what you're going to do is push the machine through the bag, make sure it comes out the other end. I like to line it up about right there. What you're going to do is grip the plastic real tight on here and just wrap it around like this and hold it with one thumb. Get your grip and just tighten it on top of there and it'll hold it like that. Next, you get this bandage wrap right here. I like to order it from Amazon. It's pretty cheap. A lot of people like to use like one whole bandage wrap on one machine, but I feel like you're just wasting it. So I'm gonna show you how I like to save on my bandage wrap real quick. So first I'm gonna get this right here on the actual machine, wrap it up right here, and I usually wrap it around like once or twice. So probably right there I'll stop. I like to fold it over right here so whenever you're cleaning up it's easier to take off. And same thing for the actual grip of the machine. Just get it right here, wrap it up about twice, and then I like to fold it over same way I did earlier with the top of the machine. What I like to do is get one of these, the shop towels, and just fold it right in half like this. This will help you get a thicker grip, and you really want a thicker grip just because if your grip's too thin, it's kind of like holding a pen, you know what I mean? If you're holding a pen and you're writing for too long, your hand's gonna start cramping up, right? And just make sure that it's tight, make sure it's really folded up, creased up real nice. And what I do is get like 2 pieces of tape right here, rip one piece off, put it wherever you can reach it, and then get another piece, put that over there as well. Then I have that little fold right here, so it'll be easier for me to line up my paper towel. And I just line it up right here. I get my tape half of the paper towel and tape the rest to the actual machine. And I just wrap it up. I like to hold it from the end and go like this just to make sure it's really tight on the machine, because if it's loose and you're holding it for a few hours, it's going to kind of mold into your hand and it's not going to be comfortable to hold, you know what I mean? And once you get to the end, get your other piece of tape and just tape it on right there. And then that's that right there. And if you want an even bigger grip, which I usually do, I usually put like 2 pieces of paper towel in here if I know I'm gonna be lasting more than a couple hours so my hands won't cramp up as bad. But if you're doing like a quick tattoo, I usually recommend like just one. You should be cool with that. But if you want a bigger grip, do the same thing again. Fold the paper towel in half, tape it to this end, and just wrap it around, tape it again. So once you're done getting your grip to the thickness you want it, get the bandage wrap again, and just like that, that's it right there. There's the grip right there and you're done with the grip. Now for the top of the machine, I know this is sticking out quite a bit and the machine is actually finished right there, you know? So what I like to do is find it with my thumb, and from your thumb up, maybe like about 1 inch, cut that off right there. Once you cut that off, your machine is gonna be exposed. So what you're gonna wanna do next is wrap it up. So like I said, leave about 1 inch of space just so you can fold it down like this. Just fold it down right here, like a little Christmas present almost. And just fold that down, fold all the corners in. Then get you a piece of tape and just make sure you tape it real good right there. And then you're done with the machine and that's it. And like I said, the other machine is the exact same way. So this is for the Bishop wands. If you're using a shader, liner, packer, whatever you're using, you set them up the exact same way like how I just showed you. Alright, so now that you're done, you're all set up. Depending on the tattoo that you're gonna be doing, you're gonna want your reference in front of you, right? What I like to get my reference from is my iPad. This one right here, I think it's an 11-inch. It was pretty tough to find some sleeves to cover this on Amazon and eBay. So what I did, I went to Kingpin Tattoo Supply, and they have the sleeves for these. Alright, so the next, you're just gonna want to slide your iPad in here. That right there, and that's it. And to hold my iPad in front of me, I like to use this, which is my iPad stand. I got this from Amazon or eBay, I think. So what you're gonna do is just place your iPad in here, and that's it right there. So once it's on there, what you're gonna do is you're gonna wanna wrap up the iPad stand as well, because you can hold it from here. And if you're gonna need to move around your iPad stand, then you're gonna wanna have this wrapped up, just so you won't be contaminating the iPad stand with your dirty gloves. And make sure you wrap up your armrest real good, the bottom of your armrest too, just so you can, if you're gonna be moving it around, wrap that up, just so it won't contaminate nothing. Now that you have everything organized and neat, wrapped up, your client's gonna feel good, comfortable, that you know what you're doing, everything's clean, sanitary, and that's gonna be your first impression with your client. You always gotta make sure that your client knows that you know what you're doing, make sure that it's gonna be clean and sanitary for them. So, you're finished with your tattoo, right? So what I use is this little powder right here called After Ink. I usually get this from Amazon. It's just a powder, you're gonna pour it on your inks right here, on each little ink cap that you used, and your rinse cup. Just pour like 2 or 3 squirts in there, and then close it up. And then what you're gonna do is get your needles, whatever cartridges you use, toss them in your sharps container. I did show y'all that I folded the bandage wrap, just so it can be easier for me to take apart. So I just get it right here, unwrap it, toss this in the trash, then just get your grip, twist it off, throw that away. Once your grip is done, then you're just gonna get your machine from the top and just place it down on a clean paper towel like this. Get your cartridge tray, toss that away, get your rinse cup, throw that away. Then I just grab my green soap right here, grab it from there and just pull it real fast. With this hand, I just grab it right here and just peel that down. And then I get the saran wrap, fold it over, place the green soap right here on the clean part, and then just fold this over, then fold this side over, and then I just roll it up. Makes it a lot easier to throw away. Once that's rolled up, toss it in the trash, then take off your gloves and get your maticide, get your disinfectant, whatever you use, and just spray down the whole tray, spray down your bed, whatever you used for your tattoo that day. Let it soak in for about a minute or 2, then get brand new gloves and throw those on real quick. Once your gloves are on, get some paper towels. I usually get like about 2 of these, fold it in half, and then just wipe everything down. Wipe your table down real nice. And these gloves are still clean. All you did was just clean with the paper towel and maticide. You didn't touch nothing dirty. So then you're gonna get your machine. Even though this was wrapped up, I still like to clean it. And those same wipes that I did use, same thing, I use these. I'll wipe the battery down real good. Then once the battery is wiped down real good, take it off, put it on that clean paper towel again, and just wipe down the machine one more time. And then just toss your gloves away, and then just wash your hands, and that's it. So if you have any questions, just leave them down in the comments below. Appreciate y'all watching, and I'll catch y'all in the next one, homies.